The beloved broadcaster got candid about her first marriage, which is something she rarely speaks about in public. She has even admitted that her split from her ex-husband broke her heart in a candid interview. Australian-born Savannah, 53, has opened up about her first marriage, which is usually a topic she avoids talking about entirely. The beloved Today broadcaster, who also writes books, was married to a man named Mark Orchard, whom she married in 2005. Mark is a British journalist who was a former White House correspondent and worked for Al Jazeera English. They split in 2009, and now, many years on, Savannah has opened up about their divorce in a rare moment where she spoke about their marriage. Speaking on the Reclaiming with Monica Lewinsky podcast, Savannah spoke about setting boundaries when writing. She said, "For example, I don't want to talk about getting divorced. It was horrible and sad and it broke my heart and it took me years to recover. And I'm not blaming anyone, but I don't really want to get into it, you know." Later in the interview, Savannah opened up about her current husband Michael Feldman. "When we were dating, and by the way we dated for 5.5 years, wait for it because a lot of reasons, and we both had commitment issues for our own reasons," she explained. She went on, "I met him very soon after getting separated and divorced, so was like, here's what's never going to happen. You know, I can't have a boyfriend, I don't want to, so it took a long time, but we talked about it because of our differing faiths and because my faith is so important to me. All I know is that I'm trying to have integrity in my faith with my children and in my family, and Mike is there with me, allowing me to do that. And also keeping the integrity of his faith and his traditions and what they want to learn, and God is very much, as my sister said, the 6th member of the family I grew up in. I'm trying to make God the 5th member of our little family. I want to teach them about the God that I know." Savannah has been a long-standing staffer at Today. While on the popular show, she has conducted interviews with high-profile people such as former President Donald Trump Jr., Mark Zuckerberg, and Hillary Clinton. She previously served as a primary anchor for NBC's primetime 2016 presidential election coverage, including the network's special reporting on the Republican and Democratic national conventions. Savannah was also NBC's White House correspondent from December 2008 to June 2011. The famous journalist and news anchor is married to Michael, a former Democratic political advisor. He served as former Vice President Al Gore's traveling chief of staff during the 2000 presidential election. The couple got engaged in May 2013 when they were on vacation in Turks and Caicos. They got married in March 2014 in a small ceremony in Tucson, Arizona, with their bash described as an intimate gathering of 80 to 90 people. The couple celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary in 2024. They have 2 children, Vale and Charlie. On July 1, 2025, Savannah Guthrie, the beloved co-anchor of NBC's Today, spoke publicly for the first time about the wrenching end of her first marriage. In a rare candid moment on Monica Lewinsky's Reclaiming podcast, Guthrie confessed. These words, weighted with vulnerability, mark a departure from her carefully drawn boundaries around her private life. For years, the topic had been sealed in silence, the one thing I didn't ever want to talk about, as she put it, never fully shared in her 2024 essay collection Mostly What God Does, Reflections on Seeking and Finding His Love Everywhere, though she hinted at its personal cost. The divorce was finalized in 2009, ending her marriage to British journalist Mark Orchard, which began in 2005. Together, their story spans 4 years, a chapter Guthrie evaluated privately but avoided publicly, due to the rawness it still carried. Her phrasing underscores the depth, not just the immediacy, of her heartbreak. The separation didn't just hurt, it lingered. At 36, she faced a wave of disappointment and self-doubt. At a time when society often labels divorce a disruption, for Guthrie it felt like derailment, a rupture of personal identity and future plans. Yet, her ultimate decision to speak out, even carefully, signals resilience. Though the dissolution was devastating, the scars ultimately shaped her journey, a path toward faith, healing, and renewal. The conversation with Lewinsky unfolded against the backdrop of Guthrie's new book, in which she explores faith's role in recovery. Despite declining to share intimate details of the divorce, she spoke about endurance and boundaries, how some stories carry lessons without needing full disclosure. Her words offer a reminder: setting emotional limits is not a sign of weakness, but power, especially in public life. She noted her publishers supported her decision to draw boundaries, a silent indicator that professionally, too, her voice was respected. From the wreckage of her first marriage, a second spark emerged. Guthrie met Michael Feldman in 2008, but their relationship didn't begin until after costly separation, something she was cautious of, aware of her emotional fragility. They dated for over 5 years before marrying in 2014, welcomed daughter Vale in 2014 and son Charles in 2016. Their enduring bond, over a decade strong, is marked by mutual respect, shared faith, and growth from shared vulnerabilities. Feldman's support has been crucial to her emotional journey, her anchor in the delicate dance between private healing and public life. Guthrie's forthcoming book and her appearance on Reclaiming suggest a deliberate arc, from pain to perspective. It coincides with her exploring faith, healing, motherhood, and career, integral elements of her current life that wouldn't fully resonate without acknowledging the past. On Reclaiming, a show rooted in rebuilding after adversity, Guthrie found the right audience to share this piece of herself without forcing a full confession. She balanced honesty with boundaries, vulnerability with privacy. It was enough to reveal the emotional gravity, not the every detail. In a media landscape that often prizes sensational exposure, Guthrie's approach stands out. Public figures are increasingly expected to share every detail of their lives, but Guthrie chose not to. She named the divorce as painful, horrible, and sad, without exposing the full narrative. She claimed ownership of what she would not share, boundary chosen, boundaries set. She connected past wounds to present strength, showing that adversity can inform, not define. Her choice reflects growing conversations around emotional authenticity, not oversharing. To her, healing wasn't a story arc, but an internal journey still in process. Guthrie's story reflects a universal truth: healing isn't linear or time-bound. Decades later, fissures may still ache under the surface. Her admission, "It took me years to recover," validates anyone still carrying old wounds. She reminds us healing can be gradual, and revisiting silver linings is a tribute to resilience. As a prominent mourning anchor, Guthrie's life is inherently public. Yet she refuses the notion that personal healing must be performative. She frames her role on Today as an invitation into others' experiences, while guarding her solitude, teaching her children, guiding her audience, building her faith, all while protecting private sanctuaries. By avoiding tabloid overshare, she redefines dignity in emotional honesty. Savannah Guthrie's unexpected revelation, 16 years after her divorce, underscores a profound message: truth can wait until you're ready. Emotional truth isn't diminished by delay. When finally expressed, it can resonate more authentically. Her narrative encourages respect for emotional boundaries, even for public figures. Recognition that healing can stretch across years, not months. Confidence that personal stories, shared with intention, can heal others. In a world where immediacy often eclipses whispering resilience, Guthrie reminds us that sometimes the most powerful words are those spoken quietly and on one's own timeline.